Hey, what's up, guys? So, I wanted to do a video about the Cowboys game this past Sunday against the Buccaneers. It was a really good game, actually. Dak came out and he was on fire, especially to start the game. I think to finish the game, he was like 32 for 36. He had like the second highest completion percentage in NFL history. He didn't throw for any scores, but he ran for one. And in the first half, the offense looked like the Cowboys' offense. They put up 17 points. It really probably should have been more. Dan Bailey missed a field goal that it wasn't his fault. It was like a 56-yarder or something like that, and he couldn't get enough leg behind it, and it ended up hitting right in front of the goalpost. So, I mean, he missed, but he was on line. He actually missed one later, worse. He tried to put more leg on it, and he hooked it, it's just weird to see Dan Bailey ever miss, because he just never misses. But in the second half, the third quarter especially just did not go the Cowboys' way. They didn't the offense didn't move the ball, and then the defense gave up touchdowns on back-to-back drives. Now, on the second one, that was, it was kind of a lucky play. I mean, Brandon Carr made the play. For all intents and purposes, Brandon Carr jumped up and knocked the ball. He deflected the pass, but the ball just kept going right to the wide receiver in the end zone. So, the Buccaneers actually came back and took the lead there for a little bit, but the offense got the ball back, and they were moving it pretty consistently. They had a couple drives sputter out at the end, but they ended up winning 26-20. David Irving in the fourth quarter really won this game. He was creating a lot of pressure. He interrupted a lot of plays, and the defense forced a lot of turnovers, it's back-to-back weeks where the defense forced multiple turnovers, and which has been a weak area for the team this whole year. So it's been nice to see the defense kind of step up and make those kind of plays, because if our defense is creating turnovers, the Cowboys are not going to get beat. I mean, if the offense does not give the ball away, and they hold on to the ball and they keep it for the most of the game, and so if the defense is creating turnovers, the Cowboys become very, very hard to beat. Now, just right before I sat down to finish this video, the Eagles beat the Giants on Thursday Night Football, so the Cowboys just clinched the number one seed, the NFC East, and home field advantage. So they've got a bye week, they've got home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and they won the NFC East again this year. So that's all awesome, especially home field advantage. I mean, the Cowboys have won on the road this year. I mean, earlier in the year they went into Lambeau and beat the Packers in Lambeau, but later now in the year, obviously, the elements are going to be kind of a problem. And in that game against the Giants in New Jersey, Dak looked like the weather was bothering him. So it's definitely a plus to know that we're going to be at home. And I'm sure the other NFC teams are not looking forward to having to come to Dallas and try to stop that offense, trying to stop Zeke on that turf. When he's going to be able to get up to full speed in little to no time, and then before you know it, he's gone. So that's important, and, it definitely raises the chances that the Cowboys could actually make the Super Bowl this year. I hesitate to really to get my hopes up too much. I mean, we still have a rookie quarterback. I mean, it can't be understated that we have a rookie quarterback. And no, I don't think that we need to go to Romo. I think that there's a slight possibility that we have a slightly higher chance of winning the Super Bowl this year with Tony Romo. I think that could be true. But I think that the detriment to the team would be greater in the long run if we were to take Dak out now. Especially, I mean, Dak's last performance, this performance against Tampa Bay was, I mean, like I said, it was almost record breaking. So, um, we definitely just need to stick with Dak, and I think that his chances of leading us to the Super Bowl have increased a lot with home field advantage. And we got to see what this kid is made of when all the brightest lights are on. And I, for the record, think that he's going to perform well, and I do think that the Cowboys will make the Super Bowl. I mean, of course, I'm biased, but I think if teams like the Giants and the Seahawks have to come to Dallas, I think the chances of the Cowboys beating those teams is much higher, and that's really all there is to it. I think the Giants and the Seahawks definitely have the best chances of beating the Cowboys. I think teams like the Falcons, although their offense is obviously incredible, the Cowboys' offense is incredible too. And we're much better at holding the ball than the Falcons. The Falcons are much quicker at scoring, and so who cares how many points they score as long as the Cowboys have the ball last. And the Cowboys always have the ball, and will keep their offense off the field. And I'm not afraid of teams that are offensive juggernauts like the Packers or the Falcons. I'm more worried about teams like the Seahawks and the Giants who have the defense that could stop feasibly, or theoretically at least stop the Cowboys, and keep the game a low-scoring game. In other words, a shootout does not scare me with this Cowboys team. What scares me is a close defensive battle, where, a turnover at the wrong time or a lack of turnovers, speaking of the Cowboys defense, could cost the game. Cost the Cowboys the game. So I'm much more concerned about the Seahawks and the Giants than I am about the Falcons or the Lions, teams like that. Now, in terms of the teams that the Cowboys could meet in the Super Bowl, obviously the Patriots are always going to be one of the favorites, but the AFC is full of those teams that can come out of nowhere, and if they get hot, especially like the Steelers or the Ravens, one of those teams gets hot, Ben Roethlisberger goes on a hot streak, or Joe Flacco goes on a hot streak. The Ravens just won a Super Bowl a few years ago because Joe Flacco got super hot during the playoffs and just led them all the way. Their defense carried them, and then Joe Flacco getting hot made them a very tough team to beat. And the AFC is full of those teams. The Chiefs, who wants to play the Chiefs? Nobody wants to play the fucking Chiefs. Their defense is great. They've got a serviceable quarterback who's got a lot of skills. They've got a good coach, and they're a dangerous fucking team. It's the same thing. Steelers have a Super Bowl winning coach, Super Bowl winning quarterback, and it's still a pretty good defense. And also probably, if you're talking about the best running backs in football, it's definitely, I think, between Ezekiel Elliott and Le'Veon Bell. And Le'Veon Bell is a very dangerous player, and he's probably better out of the backfield in the pass game than Elliott. That's just not Elliott's forte. Whereas Le'Veon Bell is just as dangerous lining up outside as he is in the backfield. The Ravens also scare me because their defense is so good, but obviously the Cowboys already proved they can beat them, and the Steelers. The Cowboys have already beat the Steelers and the Ravens this year. Another team that conceivably could be a problem would be the Raiders. They've got the offense to kind of participate in a shootout with the Cowboys, but they've also got playmakers on defense like Khalil Mack, who could make a really big play at just the right time, and those teams are scary. But I think obviously the one that I expect to make the Super Bowl is the Patriots, which is boring. I hate Tom Brady. It'd be cool if they made the Super Bowl against the Cowboys, because then not only am I rooting for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl, but I'm getting to watch the Patriots fucking lose. I would love it if the Cowboys got to the Super Bowl against the Patriots and then crushed them into the fucking dirt. But if you're playing the Patriots in the Super Bowl, you're probably not going to crush them. And you'll probably be lucky if you don't lose. So, because say what you want about Belichick and Brady, but those motherfuckers know how to win. So, it's getting exciting. I mean, football season's getting exciting. The I can't remember the last time. I mean, I don't know if since I've been a Cowboys fan, because when I first became a Cowboys fan, I was a little tiny kid. I loved Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman and Deion Sanders. So I became a Cowboys fan, and they won multiples. They happened to win multiple Super Bowls, and then since then they just have not been good. A couple years ago, 2014, when the Cowboys got kind of robbed in Lambeau. Dez caught that ball. I mean, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Dez caught that ball, and then if anything, he lost it trying to lunge to the fucking end zone, and they call it an incomplete pass somehow. But, I mean, that team, even if we had won that game, I don't think that team was a Super Bowl winning team. But I think this year's team could be a Super Bowl winning team. So it's the first time probably definitely in my adult life that the Cowboys have had a team that I felt really could win the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty stoked, all in all. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about the NFL at this stage. We just got to see how the end of the season shakes out. Cowboys got a big game coming up on Monday against the Lions. Now, obviously, it doesn't matter if we win or lose, but you don't want to back into the playoffs on a losing streak. So I'm sure the Cowboys are going to come out trying to win that game. The Lions have a lot more to fight for than the Cowboys do at this stage, so it's going to be a tough game. Matt Stafford is playing his ass off, and he's the whole reason that Lions team is a playoff contender at this point. So basically, if you can somehow kind of contain Stafford, maybe force him into a few mistakes, that game becomes much easier to win. And then the last game of the year is against the Eagles, who always play the Cowboys tough. And, especially by that week, the Cowboys really are not going to have much to play for. I'm interested to see if Tony Romo gets a few snaps just to make sure he's ready for the playoffs. I'm thinking that, especially if we win this game on Monday against the Lions, that game against the Eagles will be a good opportunity to get him some work and see if he can get himself back up to game speed just in case we need him during the playoffs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to record another video tonight about the main card of the UFC fights this past weekend on the 17th. Sorry I didn't get that out sooner. It's just been a ridiculous week at work. I'm trying to cover for a different section of the office, and I'm just trying to hold it together, and it's been just super busy. So I didn't get a chance to record those until tonight. So I'll upload both of them, and hopefully you guys will check them both out. Alright? Thanks, man.